Romans 12:12. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation, and be constant in prayer.
Lord, bless this food. Father, thank you for another day. It's a gift.
A favorite verse for Ian Heinisch.
Hi.
Have a good day.
For a man who has traveled down very different roads.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
As disciplined of a fighter as you'll find, Ian Heinisch ranks in the top 10 of UFC fighters in the world. He's good, really good, but not good enough to escape a past that defines him to this day.
It was kind of like an invincible feeling, and then we just were taking trips every 2 months, every 3 months, and eventually I had too many stamps on my passport. It rose suspicion with the national police, and then they eventually took me to x-ray my stomach where I had 1 kilo of cocaine inside of me.
Ian looks back on his life. 8 years ago, Ian Heinisch, the current-day UFC fighter, was a modern-day international drug smuggler, transporting kilo after kilo for nearly 2 years. He was eventually caught in Spain.
So when I went to prison, I remember just being in a cold cell. It was out of the sun. It was humid and kind of chilly, and just the smell of just mold and almost like puke and feces, just terrible, and alarms going off, and just the sound of guards talking in a foreign language I didn't speak at the time. And it was just a very alone feeling.
Ian was an American in a Chilean prison, an outsider, and he had to fight to stay alive.
The K1 Spanish champ was locked up with me. We sparred. He pretty much beat the brakes off me. I took him down because I had good wrestling, and we kind of made a trade that he teaches me striking, I teach him wrestling.
But after 2 years and 6 months in prison, he hit his breaking point.
Eventually I broke down, I hit my knees, and I just prayed to God.
Since his release in 2014, his life looks completely different.
He walked in to here as a boy, and he's chosen to be a man. That's something I respect a lot about him.
Ian has found his purpose and fought his way to the top. Top 10 in the world, married, just bought a home, and now driven by faith.
How's it going, sir? Welcome.
Good, thanks, man.
Yeah, good
Hi.
to see you. All the bad times, I don't think about those. They're erased completely.
Ian was baptized 2 years ago in front of the entire congregation
So I'm just sharing what God's done in my life and how my life has changed around.
and hopes it helps others rejoice in hope.
Great are you, Lord.
Be patient in tribulation and be constant
Protection upon us,
in prayer.
friends and family, in Jesus' name.
A lot of people think that, Rhino doesn't have any artists anymore, and that's just simply not true. We do a lot of murals, and it's really a way that we give artists a voice. And I think Crush Walls is a really great way to sort of demonstrate that.
I think it's a really special event. It gives the opportunity to a lot of people who maybe wouldn't have the ability otherwise to have a voice.
Hey, I'm Lindy Zimmer. I'm an artist born in Boulder, and I live here in Denver.
I've definitely always been interested in art. Like, if you would have asked me when I was younger, I would have said that I wanted to be an artist or an actress. And the funny thing is, I am really bad at acting, and I'm really glad I didn't pursue that. 50.6. And I always would come down to Crush and wanted to be involved and wanted to be part of this scene and be part of it. To me, it really marks kind of my evolution as an artist. I came since 2014, and to be here now and see how it's evolved, and then also to be able to be involved, it makes me feel it makes me feel great. A lot of the process of all painting is this kind of monotonous part. I designed this originally for a can for Odell's for Pride, and so when I was thinking about what that means to me and what that looks like, so I did 2 figures that could be, androgynous, because love has no gender, and love is love, and just representing people versus it being specific to anyone. I had a really good friend take his life in 2016, he definitely struggled with it, and it was something that he ended up feeling like he shouldn't be on this planet for. He took his own life. Like, that's really hard, It's really hard that he didn't feel accepted. And if people were just accepting, like, all across the board of how people show up, maybe that wouldn't happen.
The sound and smell are signature. But where you choose to have your coffee can be an experience in itself.
It is an awesome office space, a meeting place, a place to connect, learn, grow.
Dirt Coffee in downtown Littleton offers more than a morning shot of energy. Working to solve a problem owner Lauren Burgess says she's seen for a long time. 7 years ago, she met Robbie Cheney.
I've been with Dirt, the whole organization, since 2014, and with the shop since it first opened in May of 2018.
Finding work was difficult, so Lauren decided to be the bridge between Robbie and the employer.
After, maybe 5 to 8 interviews is when I started, really trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
I have an oat milk latte at the bar. It was a struggle for me to find a job because of my disability. Thank you, enjoy. A bit frustrating because there were a lot of places that I wanted to get into, but it wasn't enough to get my foot in the door.
Then opportunity knocked.
When I heard that Lauren was starting up the Dirt Coffee stuff, I figured, hey, why don't I give it a try?
Now he's teaching others on the autism spectrum, looking to do the same thing he did.
There are some that are really high functioning. They understand what it's like to have a job, and there are those who really do not understand what it is. I teach them what it's like to actually have the job. Enjoy.
He's building relationships.
Lauren, to me, is more than a job coach, mentor, and a better sister than I've ever had.
And that love goes both ways.
He's the most humble, heartwarming friend you can ask for.
Lauren didn't stop after Robbie or the others she's helped find jobs. And she's not stopping now.
Every single person with a disability deserves the chance to earn a paycheck and to live with independence. I mean, that's what we all want, right? There shouldn't be barriers to get there.
Robbie picked up on that passion and plans to use it to reach all his goals.
I'm just gonna fight for it, whatever it takes, and just keep going until someone hires me.
With photojournalist Chris Blake, I'm Eddie Randall, 9 News.
In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row. Those are the words of John McCrae, a Canadian doctor, lieutenant colonel, part of a famous poem penned from the barracks of Belgium in 1915, written hours after his friend was killed in World War I. He was inspired at the sight of thousands of bright red flowers flourishing in the middle of chaos and destruction, a symbol of growth amidst the devastation of war. Today, the poppy is worn by Canadians in November up until the 11th month of the 11th day of the 11th hour to honor the fallen. You wear the poppy on your left side lapel with respect, right above the heart. As a Canadian, I proudly wear a poppy for this young man, a farmer willing to leave his crops at the call of his country. Albert Glasgow lived through the war, wounded, but came home. I was lucky enough to have a grandpa, unlike so many other Canadians. McCrae's words are read every year on Remembrance Day, lest we forget. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields.
Welcome to the Selfie Bowl, a competition to find out who takes the best selfies. Your finalists, Liz Kotelik and Eddie Randall, are getting ready. They'll compete in the Denver Selfie Museum, a place with more than 20 backgrounds to make for the best Insta post. Time for the main event. Here are the rules. 1 pose, 1 take. On your mark, get set, go. Eddie's first up looks like he's picking the bedroom. A risky decision as he never sleeps. He prepares for the snap. An optical illusion. Impressive. Can Liz do better? Looks like she's going into a confined space. Ooh, it's filled with mirrors. How basic can she look? Here's the snap. Oh man, that's basic. Now the lightning round. Smize. Duck face. Hand on hip. Fake laugh. Okay, time's up. Who wins? Hey, Anchor, that's up to you.